Faith isn't an optional part of the Christian life. It's the very foundation. And that foundation is none other than Jesus Christ himself. But the question is, what kind of faith actually saves? The Bible calls us to contend for the faith, not to invent our own version of it, but rather to contend for it. So let's clear away a few common misunderstandings of what saving faith is. Saving faith isn't extremism. Faith acknowledges reality while holding on to God's incredible truth. For example, if you're sick, faith doesn't deny your illness, but what it does say, yes, I am sick, but God is able to heal. And so often we live in the reality that He often works through medicine. Saving faith also isn't legalism. We're not saved by good works. We're saved completely and absolutely by trusting in the finished work of Jesus Christ. Good works are the result of salvation. They're not the cause of it. It's also not rationalism, where human reasoning becomes our highest authority. It's not fatalism, shrugging and saying, whatever will be, will be. It's not even mere optimism or positive thinking. It's not materialism or the false promise that faith guarantees wealth and comfort. And it's certainly not beliefism. Even the demons believe that God exists. Biblical faith is much deeper. Imagine you're trapped 5 stories up in a burning building. Below, firefighters are holding a rescue blanket and they're shouting, "Jump, we will save you." You may believe they're telling the truth. You may actually believe they're strong enough to catch you. But saving faith begins the moment you jump. That's the difference. That is what saving faith is. Saving faith is placing your entire trust in someone else. Spiritually, it's throwing yourself completely and absolutely into the arms of Jesus Christ. I just want to quickly mention 3 marks of saving faith. The first one is belief. Like Martha of old said, she said this, "I believe you are the Christ, the Son of God." Peter himself said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Saving faith believes who Jesus is. But it's much more than just belief, it's obedience. Biblical faith doesn't stop with information. That information moves us to action. The New Testament speaks of believing into Christ, transferring our trust from ourselves and placing our trust in Him. Real faith changes the very direction of our lives. So yes, it's belief, it's obedience, but it's also trust. A building rests its entire weight on its foundation. In the same way, saving faith rests completely upon Jesus. It's not partly on Jesus and partly on ourselves. It's completely and absolutely on Him. We must remember, saving faith is not positive thinking. It is not religious effort. It's not blind optimism. Saving faith is believing, obeying, and trusting completely in the finished work of Jesus Christ. The question isn't simply, do you believe that Jesus can save? The real question is, have you placed your whole life into the hands of the Saviour, the Son of the living God? So today I want to ask you a few questions that I want you to ponder and think about. What is the difference between simply believing the facts about Jesus and having saving faith in Jesus? I want to encourage you to read James 2 and verse 9, John 11 and verse 27, Romans 10 and verse 9 as you explore that question. Which false view of faith do you think is most common in our world today? Is it legalism, optimism, materialism, fatalism, rationalism, extremism, or beliefism, and why? How can we recognize these attitudes in our own lives, never mind everybody else's life? And how does the gospel of Jesus correct them? The third question, final question, is this. That illustration that I gave of that person jumping from that burning building shows that saving faith involves trust, belief, and obedience. Is there an area in your life in this season where God is calling you to stop relying on yourself and jump by trusting Christ more fully and putting your complete and absolute faith in Him? Thank you so much for listening today.